Hey, Azil. Number one, thank you very much for allowing me to share with you some information on the Owning the Dash journey. And it's wonderful to see that you have such a passion for the books and the world of finance. It's an awesome career path. A little background on me. I've been in the financial services industry for 20 years, and I wrote the Owning the Dash books. I started writing them. First one was released back in 2019. Just going to dive into your questions. Question number one you asked was, what would I do differently if I was 20 years old again? And I will tell you that being where you are right now, what you're doing at this moment is probably the best thing you can be doing. And what I mean by that is don't allow fear to prevent you from seeking out opportunities. I learned very early in life that if you doubt yourself and you allow that doubt to prohibit you from seeking out opportunities, the answer is always no. So you reached out to me and you're getting this video back. And what you'll find in life is that there are a lot of people, successful people, they're busy. The most successful people are the ones that don't have time. But if you seek them, they sometimes will make that time for you. And the ones that are not as successful, they're the ones that always have time to give you advice. So reach out, don't hold back. What you're doing right now is a perfect example of what I wish I had learned very early on and just had that faith and belief in myself. So keep it up. You're doing awesome. The other things I would stress to you are figure out what your priorities are in life. What are your values? And it sounds kind of basic to say that, but if you think that wealth or money or whatever it might be is the thing that drives you, you may find later in life that that is not the thing that drives you. So if you value family time, if you value personal time, you need to really set those parameters in place, because if you don't and you start letting other things that society tells you are important to influence your decision making, you'll find that the path you're on, even though it may be society's definition of success, may not be your definition. So that's speaking pretty broadly, but it really is important to have that internal conversation with yourself and to stay humble the entire time. What I mean by that is believe in yourself and believe that you are valuable, but don't ever start letting the success let you get comfortable. You always want to be in a state of, I don't want to say discomfort, but you want to be in a state of kind of just wanting to achieve more and do better for others. So next question. What are the most important habits to being a successful financial planner? The most important habit absolutely is ethics. You have to be an honest person, treat others as you'd want to be treated. It's a slow game. It's very easy in the finance world to get caught up with the get rich quick stuff, to kind of cut corners, unfortunately. But what financial planning is really about is building long-term relationships with clients. It takes time, it takes effort, it takes a lot of energy. But someone once told me when I started in the career, probably some of the best advice for the financial planning world. They said, in the first 4 years, you will be significantly underpaid. In the next 4 years, you'll be appropriately paid. And then the years beyond that, you will be more than adequately paid. And there's a lot of truth to that. You are building a foundation in this world. And that foundation isn't about necessarily how much you know or how good you are with money. It's how good you are at being ethical and caring for others and taking care of other people. I mean, being a financial planner is just like being any type of coach. The more that they can sense that sincere interest in their well-being, the more likely they are to stay with you and the more likely they are to refer you out to others. And before you know it, you'll have more referrals than you know what to do with. So being humble and respecting others and being ethical always is the number one piece when it comes to being a financial planner. It has massive long-term positive results. Main takeaway to someone who has never read my books. So my books have a very long story, much longer than what I can put into this video. But if you check out the homepage of owningthedash.com, it tells you the story of how the original book came to life. It was based on a life event. And honestly, a lot of the path that we take in life is based on things that happen to us in our lives. The book was a result of my cousin, Greg Plitt, who was famous in the fitness world. He was unfortunately killed in a train accident back in 2015. And as a way of remembering him, I watched his videos. He was into making websites and Facebook videos and Instagram, all before that was really even a thing, before there were influencers or anything, or when it was just getting started. And he had a very massive following for that time. But he gave videos on life and fitness lessons. And what I learned with writing the original Owning the Dash book, before I even wrote it, was that as I would watch his videos, a lot of his philosophies as they applied to fitness could also apply to the world of finance. And I think that's true of just everything in life. What you'll discover is in terms of you being an individual, being potentially a father or a husband or whatever it might be, is the way you approach one thing in life is very likely going to be the way you approach other things. So the disciplines you create for yourself, the habits, the ethical behavior you have, not only in the office or in the home, but everywhere you go. It's really, you can't be one way in one area and one way in the other. But you can have passions. For me, family is my passion. So I love spending time with family. I love doing what I can to support my family. And I love doing activities with my family, which is honestly why the children's books came to life. They are an activity that I do with my children. But the biggest takeaway from Owning the Dash, and let me make sure I read that right, for someone who's never read the book is really meant to be a guide. It is a sum up of, at that time, the past 15 years of best practice advice for young families on how to get the process started, and realize that financial planning isn't just about picking the best stocks or mutual funds. It's about all the little pieces that go into the part, building that foundation so that everything else just flows from it. And without that foundation, things just fall apart. So the budget, the cash reserves, the protection needs, the estate planning needs, the tax efficiencies. Once we've got all those other pieces in place, then we can start figuring out the investment side of things. And also finding your support group, finding a CPA, finding a tax advisor, finding finding a financial advisor, a broker, whatever it might be. No one is an expert at everything, and it's really important to find that group of individuals that can answer the questions that you don't know the answer to. I've been a planner for 20 years, and I'm still learning. So that's number 2 question. Or number 3. Lastly, is there any financial wisdom you would like to give to the class? Best bit of wisdom I can give you is something I've heard with becoming an author, with becoming a financial advisor. I can speak to the truth of it as an advisor. I'm still in the process of discovering it as an author. Don't quit. Don't quit. As I said, going back to that statement earlier, the first 4 years, the initial period is the toughest. There will be many moments in life. I think with any journey, the moments of failure are the most character building moments in your life. Being successful, being in great health, when things are good, you're not really learning a lot during that time frame. It's when things are hard, when things are difficult, when you make a commitment to go to the gym in the morning and you're not feeling up to it that day. Are you going to go or are you not? What habits are you creating for yourself? So my biggest wisdom is don't quit on yourselves. Don't be fearful, but be humble. And don't be afraid to reach out to others, to ask for guidance and to network yourself. You are worth it. And the only way people are not going to find out about you is if you don't at least make that effort. I was in shock, honestly, when I received this email from you, knowing that Owning the Dash is spreading out, and not only in elementary schools, but also in high schools and colleges and things of that nature. It's moments like this that inspire and drive us to keep building on that vision. Whatever your vision is right now, it's going to change. But building that foundation and constantly working upward and towards something, even if it has to tweak a little bit here and there, never give up on yourselves, and stay ethical the entire time. It will come to you. That's it. I hope this is helpful. I will say that anytime you're told 5 minutes and you make it 10 minutes, I apologize for that. But feel free to ask questions. And once again, thank you so much for your interest in the Owning the Dash books. I hope you get a lot out of them. And I wish you all the best and future success. And when you're ready, reach out and maybe I can help you with finding the next career path. Be well.